Welcome back to another episode of You Haven't Seen That Podcast. I'm Isaac.
I'm Alva.
And this is a show where we cover movies on a growing list of films that has people asking us the question, You haven't seen that? Intermission edition. Hello.
Hi.
We're covering Deadpool and Wolverine, but we have a little special guest with us tonight. The man behind the hype, Mr. Rudy Moreno.
What's going on?
Thank you for joining us.
As always.
Thank you for letting us use the studio.
The studio is for all. Anyone out there who wants to start a podcast, come talk to me. I got some space for you.
Hey, no, you have to pay for advertising space on my podcast, sir.
Special rates.
I run things a little differently. Just full disclosure for everyone and anyone listening, this is indeed a full spoiler review discussion about Deadpool Wolverine. I'm gonna say it again.
Spoilers!
Spoilers. There's no way we can give like a full discussion about it and not spoil it. If you want a condensed spoiler-free review, you check out our page on Instagram and TikTok at Forehead Films, Forehed Films. There I have a nicely little produced review, so go check that out if you want it. Not spoiled. If for whatever reason you haven't seen this film by now, also what's wrong with you, but no judgment, but what's wrong with you?
I'm judging you really hard right now.
Okay, she has the poisons in her bags. She has the pointy things and the knives and stuff. Okay, so
Let me look at that.
Dun, dun. Let's just get like some first thoughts on it. All right, Deadpool Wolverine came out as of time of this recording this past weekend. We managed to avoid. Did you guys manage to avoid spoilers? Alva, I know you did. Rudy,
I went completely spoiler free, which I'm very proud of myself for.
difficult to do.
There was one spoiler, and that was at the really like the beginning, like pre-production when they were talking about bringing in certain characters. So Elektra got ruined for me.
Okay,
But I didn't know if it was going to go through, so I kind of just like, whatever.
but considering like all of the cameos and all the things that were tucked into this movie, I mean, like the one little Elektra reveal doesn't ruin anything else because this movie was jam-packed with references, with meta things, Easter eggs. Fuck, dude. Like, this movie really was... So first thoughts, right? This movie really, I felt, was made for the hardcore fans. Full stop, period. You guys, how'd you feel about the movie after seeing it?
I mean, not only was it made for the hardcore fans, but like it was made as a love letter to the whole Fox X-Men universe.
Yeah.
So like a lot of those movie references made it into the movie.
A ton of those movie references. I loved it. The whole entire movie was sort of an analogy, a metaphor or whatever, about how like Disney is absorbing Fox and all that shit. Mm-hmm. I mean, it felt like a roast. The entire movie felt like a roast.
I enjoyed it. Yeah. It rekindled my crush for Wolverine. Mm. Yeah, big time.
I'm sorry, it went away?
It did go away for a bit. I grew out of it, but now I'm just like, excuse me.
Who am I married to? Okay, in this family, we fall deeply in love with Hugh Jackman's Wolverine and all of his absnessness. Okay, we don't just fall off of it. We're always fully in love.
I fall off of it.
Whatever. Maybe it was just because he's been doing it for so long. You just take it for granted a little bit.
Yeah.
You
do.
I said for granted. I didn't say granite. Jerk off. I already knew you were going with that.
Like what kind of granite are we talking about?
Oh, dear Lord. The TV guy. I got to stop having you on as a guest. Look what you do to her. Okay, she gets all giddy. She has fun. We don't have no fun on this podcast, all right?
It's chemistry.
Any take like big takeaway things from this film? Like it's a comic book movie through and through. I wouldn't look at it and go like, wow, it's like a really well put together, just movie itself. You know, I didn't look at it in that spans. I was like, this is a Deadpool movie. It's like its own genre almost.
Not only is it a Deadpool movie, it's just the Deadpool movie taken completely over the top. Like that character and like all the references, everything was just pushed to 11.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like it was wildly a Deadpool movie.
Alva, do you have the budget on the first movie?
On the first movie?
Yeah, as you're looking that up, because the budget on this one was the biggest budget yet for a Deadpool movie at $200 million.
Yeah.
And $100 million goes to marketing alone.
Is that right?
Jesus, really?
Yeah.
Oh, can we since we're talking about marketing, it was everywhere.
Everywhere.
Jack in the Box.
Jack in the Box one where I was like, wow. They were in some music videos. right? A music video, I think.
Oh, the K-pop band. Oh my God, yes. I forgot the name of it. I watched that video after I watched the movie because I saved all my posts.
Where wasn't the
I missed
marketing?
It wasn't on the hypertag, and they could have.
They could have paid.
Yeah, they could have.
Wasn't on my tits, but whatever. Shit.
Damn.
Wow. Dear God.
Speechless.
I don't know where to go with that.
Yeah. How do you respond to that? And I get slapped.
All right,
By her Deadpool tits.
Deadpool 1, their budget was no.
Was it 7 million?
You say $7.
No,
$7 and a cup of coffee to get you jack shit.
I know it was super low. Budget was 58 million.
Oh,
Deadpool, yeah. Deadpool 2 was 110 million.
And if I recall, as far as like Deadpool 1, it had a bigger budget, but then like had it, cut in half or something like that?
Yeah. Deadpool 1, I think Ryan Reynolds gave away most of his salary to make the movie.
The thing I'll say in general about Deadpool movies is I felt like they were made for me. And if anybody knows me, I'm a bit out there, neurodivergent person, and I love joking at every fucking given moment. I can feel your scowl, Rudy, because I am talkative on the whole drive here when you pick me up.
Well, no, it was made for you. It wasn't made for me. Fuck me, right?
Well, fuck me, right? But there's just something about this movie. Like I can never hate any parts of it. I love absolutely every bit of all of the movies. And then in this movie in particular, just these level of references, even though like I'm not a big comic book nerd, so I don't get where some of the references are from, but I know that they're there for those people. A bit of fan service. To be fair.
But that,
To be fair.
To be fair.
But all the fan service like had levels. Like there was,
Yeah, there you go.
There's the shallow end for the people who just who just wade into the comic book world, and then there was the deep end for us real nerds.
Yeah.
Sorry, not to gatekeep, not to gatekeep.
Totally fine.
But for the real nerds who know all these references and all the little references here and there, like it was for everyone, as much as that can be a bad thing sometimes.
Yeah, I mean,
there was something for everyone here.
Definitely for like I think the viewers of Deadpool 1 and 2, like the casual viewers, and for anyone who maybe hasn't seen any other Fox or MCU movie, probably wouldn't appreciate it to a certain level. It's still a very fun movie because it's Deadpool and because you have Hugh Jackman back as Wolverine. Like that's just a blast altogether.
Why you give me the side eye?
I'm jacked up on Celsius. What am I supposed to do?
Did either of you expect this to be anything more than it was? Like, were you trying to see this connect to the greater universe? Did you think the story was going to be that as good as as good as the first one was, and as kind of as the second one was? I think the third one brought it back up.
So knowing that he was, just from the trailers, knowing that this movie was going to involve multiverses and essentially everything we learned from Loki season 1 and 2 with the Void and what's the big monster thing in the Alioth, right? I think I had some expectation of them having a little bit of a connection, but I honestly didn't want them to be like, and here's where we're going next. But I expected a connection. Ultimately, what I expected was what we got and more, which was fan service and this level of like first off, it's a Disney Deadpool movie, and I felt like Ryan Reynolds is like, hell yeah, I got a big budget, I got the Mickey Mouse go ahead, let's do this. This could be the last time I play Deadpool because now that it's owned by Disney, let's make it big. So I expected him to do exactly that. I just didn't expect everything that we got, which was awesome. Because I don't like being able to predict movies, even though like people spoil things on social media. Every moment that popped up, and again, we're going to spoil everything. Every moment that popped up, I was like throwing my hands up, just going crazy. Like, oh, I can't believe they did that. Oh, I can't believe he said that. Oh, I can't believe so-and-so is in the thing. This is fucking great.
Usually I expect like, oh, that's the next beat. I was totally like, oh, what's going to happen next? I'm just going to keep on watching.
I did feel that a little bit. Like usually when you watch a movie, you're like, okay, this act 1, act 2, act 3. And I sat there and I let myself just be entertained by the whole thing. And I didn't I didn't analyze.
Yeah.
Like I was able to just switch that part off and just enjoy the movie for as it was going.
Because I feel like that is what Reynolds wanted the movie to be. He wanted everyone to just have fun. Not to say that like the story and the motivation and everything and the characters' backgrounds and stuff, like it was serviceable. It wasn't bad by any means, but we're not there to watch it for that. There was the heart in it though, because Reynolds was able to inject heart in his Deadpool character, and then Hugh Jackman is just Hugh Jackman.
Yeah,
I've said this before, but like Hugh Jackman's played Wolverine 10 times over the past 23 years and some change. And no matter if it's any of the bad ones, like Origins, right? He always plays it as best as he can because he just puts major respect on that character's name. That being said, was there anything bad about anything you didn't like about the movie? Anything where you're like, maybe they didn't need to have that in there? Or you would have changed it any other way? Not
really. Not for me. I mean, like the only complaints I have are like technical, really. So, I mean, overall storyline and everything they threw in there, like I enjoyed.
Elva?
The Honda Odyssey versus the Kia. I wanted to see more of that. And I didn't, but I had to stick with the Honda Odyssey.
All right, let's quickly get into it. we're not going to make this a really long episode. We're going to just like kind of hit some things, some little highlights of the movie. I didn't expect it to open with him disrespecting Logan's body.
That was the big question. Like, how are they going to reconcile this with him dying in the last movie? And they dealt with that immediately. Yeah, got it all the way.
I love the conversation he was having with the skeleton. Just like, hey, how dare you do this?
As we were watching it, I was kind of like holding my breath, like, okay, I'm in for the roller coaster. And as soon as like, he starts humming the fucking Marvel opening Avengers theme, I'm like, yes, we're in a Deadpool movie. It felt cozy. It felt comfortable, and just every little beat. And fuck, man, when he's exhuming the body, you're not seeing it yet, and then it slowly pans over because like, oh, who's he talking to? Maybe us, and then it's the full fucking adamantium skeleton. I was like, oh my god, no, they didn't. No, they didn't. And I thought like, okay, that'll be the extent of it. No. This is a Deadpool movie. He beats the shit out of the TVA with the adamantium bones because there's 256 bones in the human body. 257 if he's watching Gossip Girl.
You mean 200?
Is it
6?
What did I say? 256?
Yeah.
That's what I said, right?
206.
206.
I slurred. I mumbled. I'm tired. What other parts stood out to you guys as far as like, I guess, I don't know, favorite parts or whatever?
I lost it at the bye. Just him like dancing and killing to it. I'm just like, all right, yeah, I could get on board with this.
Dude, you were cackling every time they intercut with him actually like doing the dance and shit.
I was losing it because I know that dance. I did it when like me and my cousin would do that dance. So I was just like, I'm about to just relearn this dance all over again.
Yeah, we're gonna need that for the Instagram.
Oh god. Apparently that was like a 6-year long setup for a joke. So in Deadpool 2, where he's Celine Dion is basically trying out.
That's right.
And he's giving her basically notes, right? He's like, well, the problem is you're too good. We're going to need to bring you down to like a 4.
A 5.
A 5. And she complains about it, whatever. And he goes, I should have hired NSYNC. So that just every little joke in this movie, it's some of them is like, a lot of them are like set up from years ago or just from past stuff. And it's that devotion that Reynolds has for like the universe, for the character, for the IP, whatever. Like he really gives a shit about it, and it shows in all the movies and most especially in this one.
What was your favorite part, Rudy?
Of the whole movie or the intro?
The intro, the whole movie.
Yeah, it was the dancing that fucking like it started off me laughing and not stopping until the movie was done. Like I think that just set the tone for the whole movie. I was like, this fool was really doing the whole dance, like intercut with him wielding Logan's adamantium and killing all of these TVA agents.
I heard that Rob McElhenney, his partner in Wrexham, was one of the TVA agents. It's very much like the Star Wars, the Stormtrooper thing.
Oh yeah, because they had there was something that they had to do, like a meeting that couldn't be postponed.
So he just joined him,
and so he had to like get time. He's like, well, while you're here, just do the part.
Which, by the way, let's pivot to all the friends and family that were involved in this movie. Do you know any of them that were involved off the top of your head?
No.
So we got Blake Lively
As Lady Poole?
Lady Poole. Kid Poole is his kid.
Yeah.
Inez. Then you have his other kid. I don't remember the name. And then you have Hughes Wrangler. All right. Betty.
Yeah.
Betty is like the youngest.
His Wrangler?
Yeah. So she says jump and he goes how high. Yeah. So we got
one of the players that played Welsh Poole, which I thought was like Mexican Poole, but yeah.
We had all right.
Oh, Matthew McConaughey was
That's
Cowboy,
like Cowboy.
Poole. Nate Fillion as Head Poole. And I always think that I recognize his voice, which is funny. That's not the first time he's just played like a disembodied head.
I love it.
And what is it? Santa Clarita Diet?
Yeah.
Did you ever watch that?
No.
So good. That's another one that's like, it's a show made for us, which is a complete silliness. Nate Fillion plays a zombie head. And I think like just a bunch more, but I don't remember any off the top of my head. Do you have it there?
We have Gordon Reynolds. He was the nice Poole.
Is like stand-in?
For nice Poole? Like
The unmasked Deadpool.
yeah. The
Yeah.
one with the pretty hair.
Yeah.
So you probably had
Like
to
a
be
stand-in.
Yeah.
stand-in. I did read just a few minutes ago that Tom Holland's brother was a stunt Deadpool in that
Harry
scene.
Holland?
Yeah. I was like, huh. This is not the Holland we wanted, but the one we got.
There's been past stories of like Tom Holland kind of abusing his brother, so to speak, where he'll be his like stunt double or whatever when he doesn't want to do a thing. And there was, I forget which Spider-Man it is, but Spider-Man's upside down. And the way Hollywood works is like, no, you got to wait between scenes. And so Harry Holland is like upside down for, I think, hours. Way to abuse your brother.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what are siblings for?
Yeah,
I
I was
don't
about
know.
to say that's what they're for.
I wouldn't know, but yeah, what are siblings for?
Speaking of bad things, how'd you guys feel about the villains, the British villains in this movie? The Paradox,
Paradox was fine. He was that typical sleazy.
bumbling idiot,
Yeah.
kind of. I mean, really, I don't think he like thought a lot of things through.
No.
But Cassandra Nova,
Apparently, she's a lot more vicious in the comics.
yeah,
And I don't want to say sad that they used her here, and then we're probably never going to see her again.
I mean,
But-
how would they would have put her into any other movie?
Yeah, but for who she was and what she did, like she was absolutely terrifying.
And the way that she,
The
so
freaking fingers.
yeah, so Cassandra
Yeah.
Nova is Charles Xavier's sister, and did she kill him? No, they were twins in the lore in the comics.
So, yeah, in the comics, she was an interdimensional being
Right.
who like warped into the womb and like copied Charles Xavier's DNA. So like technically they're twins. And then for some reason, Charles Xavier was already sentient in the womb
And kills her.
Uses
Yeah.
like, the umbilical cord to like choke her out and somehow expels her from that. And then she goes on to have her own career after this.
But in this one, like the TVA kind of, as in essence, recognized how fucking dangerous that she was, and so immediately threw her into the void where she thrived and was master of the void in a very Mad Maxian kind of way.
Yeah.
Her powers are telekinesis and telepathy, but she can't do things from a distance remotely. She has to, quote, get her hands dirty, and that lends for some fucking terrifying body gore shit. Like when she first did that, when she first read Deadpool's mind, I was like, oh, that's very creepy. But he has a mask on, so you're not seeing the physics. It's just two things clipping within each other. But when she did that to Paradox later on in the film, like much credit to the special effects team. Because it's like full
The way she's just
skin moving,
leaning his head like dough. Just
Like, does she really
dear
have to
God.
knead the brain?
And they went with it. Like they went a long time with it, and I was so uncomfortable in like the best ways. And the moment she grabs his
And
head,
just drags him?
like rag dolls, is amazing.
carrying him like a 6-pack.
That's speaking of expectations. I didn't expect that shit. I didn't expect any kind of body horror like that. Like that's a pretty fantastical villain, and she's a villain that doesn't have deep motivation. She's like, I just want to be bad. Like to the point where there's the moments that she has Juggernaut's helmet on her head, and they're like, look, we'll save you. Do you promise not to kill us? Oh, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to flick my bean while listening to the box set of Enya. They have a box set?
They can't have a box set.
And she's just bad. Why are you like this? I don't know. Like, she's just bad for bad sake. Like, why the fuck not? Sometimes it's just nice for us not to think too much about like the villain and feel bad for them. They're just fucking assholes. And she was in the best way.
It did make me think. I'm like, does Enya have a box set? Now I have to Google that.
Am I going to flick my bean later on to the box set of Enya?
Oh, everyone's getting one for Christmas. Fine and shit.
Let's talk cameos. There's a lot. To ask you to name your favorites seems like unfair. So do you want to just list some and talk about them?
Well,
it's difficult.
I love Channing Tatum, of course.
Yeah.
But I think of that group, Wesley Snipes was the pleasant surprise.
It really
I
was.
like, really?
Yeah.
They got him, like he came back for this?
Dude.
And like he just played his character.
Well, historically, he was difficult to work with when he was shooting Blade, I think specifically Trinity.
Yes.
So you're right. Like, to get him back is pretty fun. I think it was awesome to see him. I don't think we've seen him in anything as of late.
No.
And he got to use a hard R word.
He did.
He did.
Did he?
Yeah.
Did I miss
It's the
that one?
first word he
Yeah.
says in the whole movie.
He Deadpool says something.
He goes, I thought you were retired.
Oh. Oh, should have said it.
It's okay. I'll bleep it. Don't worry. Yeah. I was like, oh shit.
I was quoting the movie. Come on.
End quote.
And the quote, Rudy. I did not expect in any way, shape, or form to see Channing Tatum as Gambit. For those who don't know, Channing Tatum really, 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 really wanted to play Gambit, and then stuff fell through. I think he ended up doing G.I. Joe or something like that.
The first one was G.I. Joe.
Yeah.
The second one was the movie he was promised in 2019 or 17 or something like that. That fell through, and then he finally like gave up on trying to get Gambit until this movie. And that's as much as I know.
How did you feel about seeing it?
When he walked in, like I literally like yelled. I was like, wow, get the fuck out of here. They really got him.
Yeah.
I think my reaction was,
I was like, new favorite character.
And then on the heels of that, I thought it was like, wow, they really put him in a comic accurate costume.
Completely
and
comic
That head wrap's like weird
it
on
felt
him.
weird.
And then same voice too, like the accents.
They went heavy on it.
Yeah.
But we love Gambit. And if you guys haven't watched X-Men 97, like they really, really fucking do Gambit up super well. I'm not going to spoil that show for you. We'll spoil Deadpool Wolverine. But there's these moments where Channing Tatum, not Gambit, but Channing Tatum says these lines.
Leaks through.
Yeah. And I go, oh man, I kind of wish that they didn't. I understand why he did. Like, this might be the only time he's going to play Gambit. Why not throw these fucking lines out there? I think the line was, I don't really know where I come from. My daddy be dumping
Shooting buttery loads into my mama.
Dude, that totally took me out. Like, nothing else in the movie took me out of it. That moment took me out. I was
Really?
like, I was like, well, it's funny, but
It didn't take me out, but it did make me go like, whoa, like
Like, we're really going there?
like this is Deadpool's Gambit. This is not Marvel's Gambit.
yeah. And I think the second favorite cameo, I guess it'd be cameo, was I mean, again, this whole movie is fan service, right? And so, like, I think the second ultimate fan service next to Channing Tatum as Gambit was Henry Cavill.
The Cavalry. Man, he turned around and I'm like, what? What is happening?
I actually haven't heard of people wanting him. I know they want Henry Cavill as a lot of
They
things.
want him, yeah. They want him to do everything. So
Yeah, I've heard that they want him.
He looks good.
he did.
And Deadpool even says as much. He's like, this just feels right. And it did.
A good-looking Wolverine.
Because we've abandoned the idea of a comic accurate Wolverine, which we got to see in the montage of him Deadpool finding a Wolverine. We got comic accurate, quote unquote, hard air quotes, comic accurate height Wolverine. Because I feel like they knocked another 5 inches off of him. Because Hugh Jackman's what, 6'2", and comic accurate height Wolverine is supposed to be like 5'3". That's a fucking difference.
Yeah.
That's a huge difference. I mean, sometimes comic accuracy isn't what a movie or something needs.
Yeah, but they took that in there. Right? He had to be like 4 or 5,
At least.
4 6
At least.
in that shot because that was
very
ridiculously tiny.
As far as comic accuracy is concerned, I fucking loved the way that the yellow and blue suit looks. And I love how heavily Deadpool comments on it, even saying that, well, so the X-Men has you looking like you're rooting for the LA Rams or something like that.
Fucking lost it.
But it looked great. Like, the whole argument since Bryan Singer's Deadpool was, it's having the yellow and blue spandex and shit like that. Like, it's not going to play on screen. And they never gave it a try. And it took 20 fucking years, to quote Deadpool, it took 20 years for them to just give the comic book accuracy a go. And I loved it. That being said, I loved the brown and tan suit just a little bit more.
I wish we'd seen a little bit more of that.
Man.
We may see a little bit more of that. I mean, I don't know, like all these like X-Men things.
What do you know?
They're coming out in the future. I don't know.
True.
Who you been talking to?
Kevin. I know secrets.
Kevin's familiar with them Deadpool tits?
No.
If you go back and watch the movie, she has a tit cameo in the background.
I would have noticed that.
He's a gentleman, Rudy. Comic book accuracy, the cowl. How'd you feel about that?
So that's my only thing. The only thing that I was like, when he put it on, the little
It's huge.
Yeah, his horns, or for lack of a better fucking term of that, were ridiculously outsized. I'm like, does it really look like that in the comics?
Yes.
And I'm like, fuck, it does.
Yeah.
And it just looked weird on his head. And then like,
Isn't there a version of like shorter?
like he's been drawn a million different ways.
Yeah.
So like everyone has their own, version of the way he looks in that color. That one just looked kind of absurdly long to me, over the top. And then the eyes, there was something about the eyes that just kind of,
It throw you off?
yeah. Like I can't put my finger on it. Can't put my eyeball on it. It's just something about the way the eyes covering work. With Deadpool, his mask, it's fine. Like I completely buy it. With Wolverine, it was just like, what is that? What is bothering me about your eye? I still can't really put a finger on it.
I think maybe I have a possible answer to that. Is through all of this lack of comic book accuracy when it comes to the costumes and things like that, like, costumes in the cartoons or in the comics, they're animated, like Spider-Man. He is actually expresses with his eyes and stuff like that, which you didn't get in Tobey Maguire or Andrew Garfield Spider-Man. You got it with Tom Holland's only because he has mechanical eyes. And so that's the only way you can rationally explain away why a mask emotes. And then you get Deadpool and Ryan Reynolds goes, "No, fuck it. Let's just make it happen. Let's be cartoony with it." And so I think with him, he goes, "Let's just do the same thing with Wolverine and see how it feels. Like, why not? This could possibly be the only time we see comic accurate Wolverine. Let's just give it a go. Who cares if we need it or not? Let's just try it and see if it plays."
Mm-hmm.
So I feel it's because we haven't gotten it in any other form after 20 plus years of comic book movies. And then you finally do, and you go, it's interesting. It was a little off-putting, but I love that they went with the white eyes. Because when people were photoshopping, like the cowl, the helmet on Hugh Jackman, they would do what does it look like with the white eyes? What does it look like just, like Batman eyes, where just you actually see his normal eyes. I didn't mind it, but it was a little weird. How did you feel about the cowl? Did you get excited about it?
Yes.
Yeah. Tell me.
Inside.
Mm-hmm.
I felt the warmth. My pants felt the wetness.
Oh, Jesus.
You too?
Yeah.
I think your whole row.
I made sure to wear my white pants. Were there any standout moments for you, Alva, throughout this movie where either you got a reference, maybe I didn't, or was just like a standout moment itself?
Yeah, was it Singing in the Rain?
Oh.
Like for some reason that little where he's finding all the Deadpool's
the core.
Yeah, he's on a lamp post and just killing as Wolverine, and I don't know why that's like
It tickled you.
I zoomed in, my eyes zoomed into it. I was like, this is amazing. I like that little thing right there. And the dog.
Oh,
just
dude.
like anytime he had that dog.
Mary Poppins is this universe's anchor point. Like she absolutely is. The scene of Deadpool Prime, our Deadpool, using Van Milder, Nice Pool as a shield, getting across and all his excuses because he wants Mary Poppins for himself, and then Wolverine just holding Dogpool up, and
That
everyone
was the
like
best.
not shooting, hold your fire, and then him just like casually strolling across. That was probably the only comical moment Wolverine had, but it was like within his character and it was played well.
And then what is it? Peter Pool.
And his piercings.
Oh my God, those piercings.
I didn't think he was kinky. And
I was like, just give it a little tug.
that's the fun part of it. I just thought of you in that moment, honestly.
Sure. I mean, I have
You're my sugar bear.
I have a romper that kind of simulates the whole moose knuckle thing he had going on at the
Holy
end.
shit. Talk about pack. It got the attention of like the head TVA. I forget her name.
But Hunter something.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. Talk about cleanup on L3.
He's like, damn good in that suit.
And then I liked all the killings too.
Oh, the violence.
The
is brutal.
violence.
Talk fight scenes. Good.
Like the fight scenes, like especially we're in the void and he's just like fighting with Wolverine. I think my favorite one was somehow when they fight in the minivan and it's just in the minivan the whole time.
It's fun because they're not going to die, so they can go full brutal with it. I kind of did want to see him cut his head off, and like, how would that play out? But I think the regeneration on that, we don't have enough time in the movie for it.
I think the most he did was like break his arm.
His yelp.
Well, during the big fight scene, one of the Deadpools gets both his arms cut off, and like 2 minutes later, he already has the baby arms.
That's Samurai
arms.
Deadpool.
Yeah.
And when Peter Pool stops the fight, the Samurai Pool tries to do like the height and have the hands together, but it doesn't meet.
It's like halfway.
There's so much. Per the fight scenes, throughout the 10 years of Hugh Jackman's Wolverine, every subsequent movie, the ferociousness of Wolverine increased more and more with like superhuman strength, his jumps and just all that, even like his regeneration. And in this one, he just is full berserker barrage. I mean, as the scene opens up and he says, "Let's fucking go," and Deadpool says, get your special sock ready. I didn't expect, and I don't know how many times I fucking jizz in this movie, all right? He just crouches down, goes on all fours, and just goes full animal.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Like, holy shit. What? Like, I wonder if that was, like, how big of a decision was that in the writer's room?
I don't know, but I'm glad that they did it because that moment I think was like core memory for me.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I need to watch this movie again.
Me too. The more we talk about it, the more I was like, shit. Like, half of the stuff is already kind of fading. I'm like, damn, I just need to watch it again.
Dude, as soon as we got home, like, we should have done it in the car too, but when we got home, like, all right, fucking drop everything, grab notebooks, let's brainstorm all the things that we can remember for like 30 minutes. I filled up a couple pages, but I mean, we're not going to talk about all of them, but like, I wanted to try to remember everything. And as we were writing stuff down, it was a lot of moments of like, oh yeah, and then that moment, and we were just like dying laughing. Like, it's a movie to revisit over and over. Before we wrap up, any other stand-up moments? We're not doing it justice, but I don't want the episode to run long.
Again, when we're going back to the cameos, Gambit, his actual fighting, as you know, opposed to him with his accent.
Yes.
His actual fighting was like, holy shit, like, they can do Gambit in live action, and here's the fucking proof.
He blew up a guy.
You blew a bunch of guys.
With the card, the little circle of cards?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The way he was manipulating the cards and like flinging them out, like running around and planting cards on people and blowing shit up, like that was Gambit. Like, that was there. And he had his staff, you know, he was charging with the kinetic energy. Like, it was really well done. And I'm like, shit, man, like, I'm looking forward to when they finally get to the mutant saga in the MCU universe, like them doing justice to these characters.
That can't come soon enough. I know we have like a couple of other phases or other big Avengers movie before we even get to that. I kind of want to be like, Feige, skip it. Let's just come on. You're already hinting at this mutant saga, so let's just get to it. You know?
Yeah, we have to get through the shit first to get the good stuff.
What is this, Shawshank Redemption?
Yeah.
Like, no, let's just do it now.
Don't make me get baby knife.
Ultimate cameo. Stanley's. Did you guys catch that?
Yes.
I didn't catch it until the episode breakdowns from Screen Crush. I hadn't. It didn't even register. Like where they drop it during the whole fight scene with the
your eyes are like going everywhere.
Yeah, so I'm trying to look at everything at once, and I'm like, my eyes are spazzing out, and then all of a sudden, they pause it, and they show Stanley on the little bus marquee, and I'm like, oh shit, there it was, and I missed it.
Stanley Steamers.
It's your carpet's cleaner.
Rudy's referencing is Ryan Airy on Screen Crush. You check that out on YouTube. Screen Crush. He does all of the things breakdowns, and he has like plot holes explained for Deadpool, Wolverine, just all the Easter eggs you might have missed, and it helps you enjoy the movie just that much more. Because I do want to rewatch it. I do want to like spot those things. I mean, they're there, and I want to know why they're there. I don't want to be. Well, I got FOMO. Okay.
Yeah. Gotta go see Marvel Jesus again.
So ultimately, it felt like a Fox send off, right? Like we mentioned before. It's nice to say goodbye to a lot of those characters. At the credits, I mean, you throw that Green Day song on anything, it's emotional.
Yeah.
And it was like, yeah, we really did have like, I mean, this was the foundation of superhero movies, as far as I'm concerned. But post credits, we didn't mention Chris Evans is in this movie.
Big cameo too.
You want to set it up?
No, go ahead.
So, as Wolverine and Deadpool are first in the void, a hooded character, a cloaked character, stops the fight. And you recognize the voice, and you recognize the pants, and the arm, the red gloved arm. And of course, it's Chris Evans. And Deadpool recognizes him as Captain America, right? Mm-hmm. Takes his hood down. It's like, Cap. And as Chris Evans is talking with the void Mad Max people, all the Fox character villains, he uses some naughty language, and it gets Deadpool's attention. And then he's like, gonna say the thing, and Deadpool's waiting for it, and he says it before he thinks he's gonna say it. And he's like, Avengers Assemble. He's like, flame on. I was like, holy shit. Johnny Storm from the Fantastic Four is back, and he's a shit talker. And that is so fun. You have to imagine how fun it is for Chris Evans to have played, like, Chris Evans is a funny guy.
Yeah.
If you've seen any interviews, he's a fucking sense of humor, right? But to essentially play a Boy Scout for however many years, however many movies, you gotta imagine, it feels a bit restrictive. Especially when you're this type of personality that is like, he can fucking shoot the shit with Reynolds. And
I've seen like interviews and stuff, and I've seen him in other movies, and I was slightly scandalized when he started, playing Johnny Storm again. I'm like, oh, that he is that douchebag character. I'm like,
yeah,
there he is.
big time.
So, fast forward to he does essentially get him. Well, Deadpool gets him killed in a very beautifully gruesome, violent way that I expectations was not expecting. It was so well
not
done.
One bit.
No, so well done. But there's like this through joke of basically Deadpool's not owning that he got Johnny Storm killed because he's saying that Johnny Storm mouthed off, blah blah blah, and so post credit scene, we get to see the video, and it's Chris Evans in a Marvel movie owned by Disney saying, I think, the worst things out of anybody. Like the dirtiest things that come out of this guy's mouth is fucking wonderful. And
that's where you flick your bean.
Let's end it there. Fuck. So check out Deadpool Wolverine if you haven't already seen it. Jesus Christ. This movie, as of right now, made $550 million, so it made its money back multiple fold. We have to check it out again.
Hasn't been out a week yet.
Hasn't been out a week yet.
Already the talk is like, let's go see it again. Shit.
My brother, I think, had already seen it twice. On my movie review for this movie on Forehead Films on Instagram and TikTok, I did put up a poll of, are you going to watch it? Yes, no. Already seen it multiple times, and a few people have voted that they've seen it a few times.
I voted in that poll too, and I saw that like almost 0%. I said, yes, I'm going to see it. No, I've seen it. I'm going to see it again.
Fuck yeah, man. That's I really wish I wasn't so busy because I want to see it like immediately. But as it is, we're busy and life is life. So tell us what you thought about this movie. And Rudy can join us as we outro. Tell us what you thought about this movie down in the comment section. Hit us up in the DMs if you want to be private about it. But before we send people off, Rudy, let people know where they can find you and our other podcast.
You can find me in Anaheim.
Son of a bitch.
No, you can find me on Instagram at rogue.1. And you can find our other little podcast, the Hype Attack Podcast. We are on Instagram at the Hype Attack Podcast, or at the Hype Attack, and on YouTube, where we do our full video
episodes
podcast at the Hype Attack Podcast on YouTube.
You do a fantastic job editing those videos.
I try. It's a gigantic task, but I try.
No, you do an amazing job. If anyone's listening to this, if you're not familiar with the Hype Attack Podcast, weird. But check it out. Full video episodes. Rudy does a beautiful job. And so, people, let us know what movies are on your growing list of films that has people asking you the question, you haven't seen that? Later, folks.
Okay, bye.
Bye.